Okay, we're about to unpack one of the most complex and disturbing scandals of our time. It's a story that connects these unimaginable crimes to the absolute highest levels of global power. And honestly, it's a story that even today leaves us with way more questions than answers.
So in this explainer, we're going to follow the trail, the documents, the reports, everything that pieces together the story of Jeffrey Epstein, from his jaw-dropping rise to power to his dramatic downfall, and of course, the secrets that are still coming out.
To really wrap your head around the scale of his operation, you have to start at the epicenter, his private island in the Caribbean.
To the world, this 72-acre property was sold as this luxurious, idyllic paradise. But what was happening just beneath that sunny surface was a horrifying reality of total control and exploitation.
You know, when investigators finally got on the island, the things they found were, well, just bizarre. They painted this picture of extreme secrecy. We're talking about a mysterious temple-like building, a whole web of cameras watching every single corner. It just felt like everything there was designed to hide what was really going on.
So, the big question is, how does a man go from being a teacher in a classroom to owning a private island and having the world's most powerful people on speed dial?
Epstein's journey was just unbelievably fast. He had this unique knack for getting himself into the inner circles of the ultra-wealthy. He'd manage their money, gain their trust, and then use those connections to build his own fortune and this impenetrable fortress of influence around him. And the sheer scale of his empire was just staggering. Look at this number, 75,000. That's just the acreage of his ranch in New Mexico. Just the ranch. Then you add in a massive mansion in Manhattan, a fancy apartment in Paris, and his private island. You start to see that this wasn't just about wealth. It was about building a global stage for his operations.
But here's the thing. His money was only one part of his power. His most valuable and frankly most dangerous asset was his incredible web of connections.
And right at the very center of that whole operation was Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, victims describe her as way more than just a girlfriend. They say she was the madam, the mastermind who used her elite social status to find, lure, and groom young women and girls into his network.
His private jet, which the media grimly nicknamed the Lolita Express, hosted a truly shocking list of powerful people. We're talking documents and flight logs that have linked former presidents, royalty, titans of business, all of them to Epstein. It just raises these huge, serious questions about what they knew and when they knew it.
And while no formal client list has ever been found, this suspicion of blackmail, it remains the central unanswered question in this whole saga. Was he collecting compromising material on his famous guests to guarantee their silence and their loyalty? It's a theory that just haunts this entire investigation.
For years, it really seemed like this network made him untouchable. And that led to one of the most controversial, some would say corrupt, plea deals in U.S. history.
The story of justice in this case it's a tale of two completely different worlds. You look at his 2008 plea deal, it was this masterpiece of legal maneuvering that kept him and his powerful friends safe. But the 2019 arrest, that was the result of a decade of relentless pressure from victims who just refused to be silenced. And let's be clear, this second chance at justice wasn't some sudden change of heart from the system. No, it was forced into action. It was forced by the incredible bravery of survivors who kept fighting and by journalists who exposed that crooked 2008 deal to the entire world, creating a firestorm that the authorities just couldn't ignore anymore. So just when it seemed like the world might finally get some real answers, that some very powerful names might finally be exposed, the story took another absolutely shocking turn.
His death, right before he could stand trial, ignited this global firestorm of conspiracy theories. The official cause of death was suicide, but the circumstances surrounding it were anything but ordinary.
While the official ruling was suicide, these details are just really hard to ignore. Malfunctioning cameras, guards falling asleep on the job, and his sudden removal from suicide watch right before he died. These facts have led so many people to believe he was silenced to protect others, and it remains one of the greatest mysteries of the entire case.
So with Epstein gone, the focus had to shift. His chief accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, was sentenced to 20 years in prison. A compensation fund was set up for his many victims. But the biggest piece of the puzzle still left is the mountain of evidence he left behind.
And because of overwhelming public demand for transparency, we've seen legal actions force the gradual release of these documents. Now, the process has been slow, because the courts are trying to balance the public's right to know with the need to protect the victims. But it does ensure that these secrets won't stay buried forever.
And that's the question, isn't it? That's what ensures the Epstein saga is far from over. His story is this chilling reminder of how power can corrupt and silence people, but also how the pursuit of justice, no matter how long it takes, can eventually bring the darkest secrets into the light. The only question is, what are we going to find in the light next?